Story time. I got some crazy story for you guys. Imagine this. You leave your country behind because there's no future, no jobs, no safety, no nothing. You traveled across the world hoping for a better life. You finally make it to America. Instead of freedom, you got yourself locked up. Yes, this actually happened. Let me tell you about a man named Roble Ahmed Salad, a Somali man. ICE detained him illegally in Alaska in the US. So, Roble is from Somalia, a country in Africa, a country that has been unsafe for decades. No jobs, no future. So he takes huge risk and he starts his journey from Somalia to America. He starts his journey from Somalia to America. First stop, homie leaves from Somalia to Brazil. And you know how far it is from Somalia to Brazil. Next, he walks, takes buses, and travels across South America, including Panama and Mexico. Finally, in 2022, he crosses the US border and applies asylum. At this time, Joe Biden was still a president, but Donald Trump was still campaigning to become a president in the US. And he said, if I, Donald Trump, get elected, I'll crack down on immigration. And that would be my type and only priority that I'll get to do the first month that I get into the office. Even with all the uncertainties, Roble from Somalia thought he made it. At least he's in America. Joe Biden is going to get reelected. Everything is going to be smooth. But in 2023, his asylum claim was denied. And that's when everything started going the wrong direction. So now Roble feels like he's in a messed up situation. He feels he's stuck in America. He cannot stay in America and he cannot leave outside of America. The US government tells him, we cannot send you back to Somalia because it's too dangerous. The US government tells him, we're not going to deport you back to Somalia because it's too dangerous. But they also said, we're not going to give you a legal status in America. So now he's stuck. He cannot stay in America because he cannot be deported back to Somalia because Somalia is a dangerous country. And he cannot leave outside of America to go to another countries like Canada or anything like that. With nowhere to go, he moves to Minnesota. He's thinking there's a large number of Somali immigrants living in Minnesota. They're going to help you out. They're going to help you navigate through this process. So he moves to Minnesota. He stayed in Minnesota for a couple of months. And then he finds out there are a lot of other people that are in his exactly situations. He couldn't find a job in Minnesota. Things got too difficult for him. And now is when he decided, let me think another state that I can move within the 50 states of America that has less people, less folks have same situations like me. So that way it would be easier. So then he thought about Alaska. So he finds a job in Alaska. The minute he gets to Alaska, within a few weeks, he got a job caring of elderly people at an assisted living situations. So he's helping out elderly people. He's getting paid to do this job. He's thinking about things are okay for now. So then when things are okay and back to normal, he decides he's going to apply something called temporarily protected status, also known as TPS, which is a special visa for people from dangerous countries. So this is a special visa for people that cannot go or cannot be deported back to their countries. In this situation, he's from Somalia, so he fits it in. He works with a lawyer, he applies it. Seems like he did everything right. Well, it didn't matter. So for Roble, everything changed overnight. Everything changed overnight. Trump is back in the office after winning the 2024 election. One of his first move was mass immigration crackdown. Mass immigration crackdown. So one day, Roble wakes up early in the morning. He gets ready for work, and he drives his car. He stops at a Starbucks. He got his chai latte, and he got a drink, and he goes straight to work. He parked his car and walked, and he said hi to one of his coworkers, and he started his day-to-day work. He was in for about 3 hours, and then ACE agent showed up at his workplace, and they asked, "Where is Roble?" And the people that was working over there, they try to protect him and lie, but ACE agent. So they went in, they found Roble, and they arrested him. And Roble was super shocked. So now Roble is locked up. He's in a jail. He has no idea what to do. He made a phone call to his lawyer. Let's call him John. He said, "John, they got me this morning. I'm locked up. I don't know what to do. Help me." And John was like, "Wait a minute. This is illegal. You cannot be deported because you have a TPS application. They can't deport you back to your country. I think I'm going to help you out." So his lawyer, John, called ACE, and he told him the same thing. "Wait a minute. This is illegal. You guys cannot do this to him. He has a TPS application, and he cannot be deported back to his country, Somalia." ACE was like, "We don't care. We don't give a F about this. We still locked him up. If you want to take us to court, take us to court." And that's what they said. Now John is pissed. John is the lawyer of Roble. He's so mad. He's pissed. And he took it to court. He filed all the paperwork, and he said this is illegal. But anyways, this took about 3 weeks, and it made it to the federal judge. And the federal judge stepped in and said, and the federal judge agreed with John, and the federal judge said this detention is illegal and he must be released immediately. So the federal judge said this is illegal. Roble must be released immediately. And this was huge news that kind of was relief for both Roble and his family and a lot of people that was in his situation. So now let's talk about why the federal judge said this is illegal. So when the federal judge said this is illegal, the federal judge was thinking about a couple of things. The first one was the U.S. doesn't even know if Somalia will take Roble back. And this is actually true because the country is not a staple. So the federal judge he is not convinced that the Somalia government will take Roble back. And then the second thing that he was thinking about was the law says that you can't keep someone in jail if they can't be deported soon. And that was also another valid option that the judge reside and used it as a reason. And then the other part was the third one that the federal judge said was holding him, Roble, was unconstitutional. You can't really just keep someone in jail. So the judge's ruling was pretty clear. It was crystal clear. He is not getting deported anytime soon. Roble stays for now in the U.S. Keeping him locked up, it's also illegal. He must be released right now and right at this moment is what the judge said. So by now, you'll be thinking the fight is over. The fight isn't over. But guess what? Roble is still in jail. He hasn't been released. The government hasn't said if they will appeal the ruling or if they will drag this out, meaning that they will kind of request appeal, more paperwork, and they're still keeping him in the jail. So now, here is the real question. How many other people are stuck in this exactly situation that we don't really know? They're sitting somewhere in a jail, and the government even said they don't really have a good reason to keep them over there, but they still keep them in a jail. This is one situation that we know. So I want to ask you, what do you think? Should ACE have locked him up? Should he be freed right now? Drop in the comment. Let me know what you think.